All right, folks, for those of you listening to the podcast, as always, we are waiting for the gremlins at YouTube to get the show up and running. We're waiting to go live on YouTube. Angela is will be joining momentarily. She's on the call, as you could tell, um, and she'll be here momentarily. And we are just about there, getting into the analytics screen. No, it's not made for kids. I don't know why I have to answer that all the time, but I do. All right, I'm going to go ahead and copy the link, get over to Twix, post the link, share the link, and we are live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Suds News. I am Vinnie. This is Angela, and we are here live with Suds News as always. Today is Monday, July 29th. I can't believe July is already just about over.
No, I'm so bummed because I love summer. I love summer vacation with the kids that I nanny, but only a few more weeks left.
Yeah, you're not kidding. But they're
Mhm.
going to be quite a bit of fire for weeks on General Hospital coming up.
Mhm.
But before we get into any of that, one thing we actually forgot to mention last week, while we were on our show,
Mhm.
you lost a former General Hospital alum. Um, Richard Simmons passed away
Yes.
last week. We forgot to mention that, but I mean, there's been a whole slew of
Oh,
deaths in the
yeah.
silk world over the past number of weeks. But Richard Simmons is the latest, are, you know, being a fitness guru as well as a thorn in Lucy Coe's side. Uh, Richard
Yep.
Simmons was, definitely entertaining. He lived his life to the fullest. And towards the end of it, they just released an interview with his housekeeper or his house manager,
Mhm.
saying he didn't want to be out in public if he couldn't be Richard, which makes sense
Yes.
to a lot of celebrities. But he did pass away last week, so our condolences and prayers go out to his family, friends, and fans as always.
Yes.
Um, Also, so before I get into the news about the Sudsies, because I had to postpone it once again, um, as always, I do want to announce we are an official affiliate of the WWE shop, which is a Fanatics experience. Go over to sudsandsquarecircle.com/wrestling merch. That has the our affiliate code in the URL, and whatever you buy gives us a commission, helps us with our show. So go there, sudsandsquarecircle.com/wrestling merch. Okay. So I had it all set to put the Sudsies out. So 2 weeks ago, when I announced the Sudsies were supposed to be released on the 21st, unfortunately, I didn't have all the videos together. That was our technical difficulties. We didn't have all the videos from all the presenters.
Guilty.
Um, so I postponed it for a week and extended it. I still didn't get every video, but I had enough that I could fill in. And you know what? Whatever. I could do it. Life gets in the way, and nobody's getting paid for this, so whatever. It is what it is. So I go to edit it yesterday, and I use Cyberlink Director Suite for all my video editing. And I didn't realize that my subscription had expired, so I figured I'd renew it. Well, instead of doing the yearly renewal, I did the monthly. Well, Cyberlink's uh, algorithm or their programming or their website didn't recognize the payment for the monthly charge, and I just I couldn't use the program. So I had to put in a support ticket. Well, they said, okay, well, we'll get back to you in 24 to 48 hours. So, of course, that didn't work for me. So, unfortunately, due to, once again, reasons beyond my control, I had to postpone it. So, I did get it fixed, though. The subscription is now up and running. And the Sudsies will officially be released on this Sunday. Again, August
Woo!
3rd, August 4th, excuse me. And so that will be the final date. August 4th, 2024 will be the 2024 Sudsy Awards on YouTube at 7 p.m. So it's been a hassle. Hey, you know what? I'm transparent. Life happens and things happen. So it is what it is. But either way, we are here. If you are watching, thank you so much. Go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe, get notified, join in the chat. And here's the thing, even if you don't want to join in the chat, just go ahead and react to the chat, because that helps our algorithm, helps get us more viewers. And go ahead, if you're listening to the podcast, leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you find your favorite podcast. We're on multiple podcast platforms. Okay, we had a milestone last week on Friday. We did have a milestone in Port Charles. Carly Spencer hit her 3,000th episode.
Nope. Laura Wright hit her 3,000th episode. Yeah. Carly hit hers a while back.
Laura Wright hit 3,000 episodes.
3,000th, and it was great. It was such a wonderful, wonderful episode for her anniversary.
Really was. Yes.
With her, with Jagger, the defiant putting her wrists out, and oh God, it was so good. So good.
It really was. Yes. Absolutely. The Laura Wright is a phenomenal actor as it is.
She's been killing it.
She did absolutely fantastic. Just the emotion, like that she brings, even in today's episode. I am caught up with it. I did watch today's episode already. But the facial features, like she has that one face where she knows that Jason's going to be upset with her for what she did, but she acted impulsively and that he was going to be upset.
Yeah.
So either way, let's kind of back up to the beginning of the week. We knew that Jason got screwed over by Anna, and Jason was going after Anna, and it's like, oh, well, what's the matter? You and Carly are going to be held accountable for your actions. How in the hell could she say something like that? I wanted to wring her neck.
Well, what's really funny is I love Anna. And for the first time, actually not for the first time, but it was in stark relief for me because I love Anna, but I can't stand Robin. And I was just like, oh, she is her daughter's mother today with this nonsense. I was,
what a hypocrite.
Right?
Right? Yeah, like she's saying that Jason and Carly should be held accountable, but what about Valentine?
Right. What about her?
Yeah.
Anna was a double agent against her country.
Yes.
That's her history.
That's treasonous.
And when was she held accountable for that?
Yeah, never.
Accountability would have been her still in Supermax.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying. And, the thing about this is, my Carly can pull some shit. And she can pull some shady shit. But like it, don't like it, canon is a thing. And canon being a thing screws us all every once in a while. The canon is that Carly had no choice.
Right.
Her or Jason had to be at that meeting. And if they weren't, it wasn't just about keeping power. It was if Cyrus had taken the seat, he was going to kill her, he was going to kill Jason, and he was going to kill their families.
Yeah.
This is the canon.
Yeah.
There was no one else who could do it. Jason was unconscious because Captain Savaho got his ass shot and he was unconscious. The Jarley fans have called that man Captain Savaho for 25 years. This isn't new. We love him. He's Captain Savaho. Jason and those hoes can be Sunny. His hoes aren't just women. It was, Sunny. He got kicked in the harbor when he was trying to save Benny. Whatever. Yeah. Captain Savaho broke the plan. That was a good one. Got his ass shot, and Carly had no choice. She had to do it to save her, to save Jason, and to save their children.
Yeah.
Period. End of story. That's canon. This wasn't Carly just being, crazy old Carly babes or whatever, which she
No,
hasn't done in a long time.
she was back
But
there in the corner.
exactly. She had no choice. She had to do it.
I want to see if it's going to come out who was the mole, like who
Yeah.
because the only ones that I could theoretically look at are either Selena Wu or Cyrus Renault.
See, long time I thought it was Cyrus because we knew he was a snitch. But the thing is that if he had had that, he wouldn't have needed to get other information to get himself out of prison like he
Right.
did later, because that would have done it. I'm still hesitant for it to be Selena Wu, although it's possible, but they could also just pin it because there were two other mob bosses.
Right.
They're both dead. Jason blew them to bits as Carly's wedding present, but there are two other mob bosses
That's
that were in
true.
that meeting as well that it could have been. I have a feeling they're going to pin it on my Selena, which makes me sad, but I'm hoping that they pin it on one of the old dead guys.
I agree with you. It would be, but it would be an easy out to pin out one of the dead guys.
I
If
know,
it
but it
comes
keeps
out,
Selena around.
it does, but here's the thing: is that if they do make it Selena, it could have been that the guy that was the snitch for Pikeman, he could have been the one that put a recording device in her
Hmm.
purse, and she wouldn't have known the wiser.
Yeah.
I mean, now granted, it's got more security than Fort Knox into a mob meeting, but again, if you're like a Spinelli or a Brick, and
Yeah.
you can get around those things.
And at the end of the day, we also have to remember that at the end of that meeting, Dante showed up
Yes,
and ran into that room. So, it wasn't that damn secure.
exactly.
But, Brennan could have something to do with this because Brennan is who Anne is talking to at the FBI office. And he's in a suit and in an office.
Well, considering Brennan is not, he's been erased from Pentonville custody.
Mm-hmm.
And we found out today his medical records were erased. So this
Yeah.
is good.
Yeah, I have had a feeling for a while that Brennan, it was going to be some sort of double agent, undercover operation to try to bring Pikeman down from the inside, which I thought that, and I still think that they could have Valentin a part of as well, because I don't think Valentin's gone.
From the rumors that I've heard, he and Scarlett have left. They're on good terms the doors open for a comeback, but
Yeah, but Scarlett on Jonathan Jackson's announcement of coming back,
yep.
Scarlett Fernandez posted on it, can't wait to work with you.
Okay, so
And there have been no exit interviews.
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
There's been no exit interview. He hasn't announced it, which he would be able to. There's
Right.
been nothing. So I'm not sure this is it.
Yeah, so it could
And
be
in
just a
fact, I'm pretty
sabbatical.
sure that it's not.
Yeah. It could be a sabbatical. And he'll be out filming another show or whatever, and then he'll be back.
Or it's just storyline related.
Yeah,
He's recurring.
exactly.
They can. So yeah, so I don't think he's gone. So they could make him part of this thing with Brennan as well. Um, I don't know where else they put Anna.
Right.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
I suppose they could put her with Brennan. Although I still think that Brennan's going to save Carly.
I think so too.
And now that we know that he works for the FBI, he has total access to that video to, push that button on delete. So yeah, I have a feeling that evidence is going to go missing, to save Carly.
That could be. I mean, and maybe it's because Brennan knew that Kate's had a personal vendetta, um, all along.
Yeah, see, I think I think he'll do it because he has a soft spot for her. And,
That could be.
he's shady, FBI agent or not, he's still a little shady. I don't think the FBI really cares that, like a lot of people are like, oh, I hope Jason's recording this. Jagger hasn't done anything wrong.
Right.
It's okay for an FBI agent to have a vendetta against a mobster.
exactly.
You
And it's
know, I
okay
mean,
for, yeah,
he hasn't manufactured evidence. It's okay to, blackmail people
yeah,
into turning states. They do it all the time. It's legal.
yeah, it is. You're absolutely right.
He's not framing Sonny. He's trying to get legit evidence on Sonny.
You're right.
He's, he's vehement and he's very devoted and whatever, but he hasn't crossed that line to, although Molly should have slapped the taste out of his mouth today.
Oh yes, she should have. And it's like I knew exactly what he was doing. Thank God for Michael to be there and I know that
Oh, I
Sonny,
was gonna say, you and I are on different sides of this one. I'm like, God damn it, Michael. Let him get his ass arrested.
um, but thank God for Michael to be there because he knew what was happening. He knew
Mm-hmm.
that Jagger was goading him into hitting him, especially now that he knows that his meds are decreased to less than 25% because Ava,
Yeah, now it's on zero.
right. And Ava shared her secret with Kate. So,
Yeah.
he knows that he's unmedicated.
Yep.
So I mean, he knew exactly what he was doing. Michael held him back, and he blocked his arm from punching him so that, it can continue on the way it is.
Yes. And I'm happy about that storyline wise. I mean, I'd like them to throw Sonny into a hole and throw away the key and, you know, but that's not going to happen.
Right.
So, but I mean, it's so soapy.
It
The
is.
soap is soaping on so many levels, and this promo was amazing this week.
It was. I agree. I do
So,
want to touch on something. I did put out a post on Twix earlier today. Um, and
causing
it
trouble
wasn't
again.
what?
Causing trouble again.
Well, it wasn't necessarily to cause trouble, but it was more along the lines of I want to know what people, were liking about GH or liking or hating. And I did
Hmm.
put it out there, and I welcome the comments. And the thing is, I put out there that I wanted to know the why. You can't just say,
Hmm.
oh, I can't stand the writing.
Right.
Give me the why. And, the people actually some people got, into it. And I got more positive stuff than negative. Uh,
Hmm.
at Lori Ray 79 said, I love it mostly, but I can't stand the messing with Sunny Med storyline. So very cruel, which I can understand that. If you have a loved one that needs meds to live, yeah, that could be a trigger point.
Hmm.
It is a soap opera. So and then let's see. At Jarly 29 21 41 61 says, I'm loving the hashtag Jolly storyline right now. Yes, I'm biased, but the pacing is better. A lot is going on with a lot of different people tying in together with the story. There's an excitement and a feel of something's going to happen. They are no longer allergic to drama. And we had stated that. Chris and Dan were almost allergic to drama.
It was like they had like the perfect dramatic soapy tropes just sitting, like, I know I go back to this well, but it's just such the perfect example. How does Sonny not walk in on Jason and Carly having sex or having just had sex?
Right,
How?
right.
Like they went, oh no, that's too soapy.
Yeah,
I don't understand. If I could ever ask those two men a question, it would be that: how do you not pull the trigger on that one?
exactly.
I
At
don't get
GH
it.
addict at GH underscore addict underscore 5 says, I like the Carly Jason stuff right now. I hope Brendan is back soon and a permanent part of the show. I enjoy the actor very much. I don't like the lack of story for Dex, Joss, and the other young adults. They brought Geo on. He needs to do more than just stand around being nice.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Um, at let's see, at Scandal Women, I like the idea of BLQ starting an independent label, but not Sunny funding it. She's trying to save Blaze's career. Having the town's alleged crime lord as a backer would not help matters, which makes sense.
It does, but it's such a great throwback to history though, because
Of
of
course.
Sonny being involved with L&B back in the day. I mean, I think it'd be great if they brought Brenda back for it and had her and Lois really involved with it.
Yeah.
And you never know, maybe she's doing a couple events at Fan Club Weekend this weekend, so maybe you never know. But yeah.
And then finally, at me, myself, and GH, I love all of it. I'm glad it's still around for me to enjoy. I will take whatever they present as long as I can have my story to watch. And that's the thing, is like watch it for the entertainment. Don't watch it for specific relationships, specific stories, and then get mad when your story
Right.
is featured. Uh,
Right. And that's how you should watch a soap opera. I mean, we all have who we like, we all have our ships, we all have whatever, but at the end of the day, you can't watch a soap opera for one couple, one
right.
character. One, I mean, I am ride and die for Carly. I am ride and die for Charlie, but I watch the entire show live every single day.
Yep.
Usually watch it more than once. And I'm liking the vast majority of the show. I'm liking, and I have been for months now.
Yeah. That's the thing is I watch the Hulu version because I can't stand commercials, but also because it works better with my schedule. But yeah, I watch it, if I don't watch it that night because of my bedtime, but I'll watch it the next day. And
Mm-hmm.
it's just simply because it is, in my opinion, it's must-see TV. Even if it wasn't, even during the slow times, I'm still watching
Yes.
it every day because I like the
Yeah.
story and because I want to support the show.
Right.
And
Well,
that's
I mean,
that's the thing.
yeah. Yeah, as I said, I mean, Charlie have been my couple literally since the first night they met in May of 1996.
Yep.
If I was only watching this show for them,
Yeah.
you know, but I'm not, they're what I want that pairing, but I want my show.
Exactly. Uh, Anna not only pissed off Jason this week at Jason and Carly, but she also got a visit from Laura.
Mhm.
And, Laura asked her, have you talked to Valentine? Have you talked to Charlotte? All their phone numbers were changed, the social media was wiped. And she's like, I have no,
Why? Yeah, she's like, Valentin. I don't. The name kind of sounds
yeah,
familiar, but yeah.
that
Anna
was the
totally played
absolute
dumb,
worst
and yeah.
poker face in. Well, Anna doesn't have a poker face, anyways. Like as a former spy, she has no poker face. That's been one of the biggest criticisms that I have about her. Um, and it's as somebody, and it's funny because I'm listening to her voice now. My wife is watching one of the episodes of Charm that she was on. Um, which I didn't realize Greg Vaughn was also on Charmed,
Yep. And Ted King.
and Ted King,
Mhm.
and Wes Ramsey.
And Wes Ramsey.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
I would love to have Peter back, but I'm sure I'm the only one.
It's so funny. I had no problem with Peter.
I like Peter.
I think Wes is great. Whatever. I mean, I don't love him. I don't hate him. Whatever. But it cracks me up the level of passion he inspires.
Yeah, the
And
level
every
of
time I see, every once in a great while, you'll go, "Oh, I want Wes." You'll see somebody say they want him back, either as Peter or a new character, and I just giggle. I'm just like, "Oh, the hellfire you're about to rain down upon yourself."
well, I did an episode last summer. Or no, maybe I'm sorry, no, it was a couple years ago. I did an episode where I compared Peter August, the character, because Wes Ramsey, in my opinion, was one of the best talkers that GH had. He didn't have to
Mhm.
raise his voice. He always, he was somebody who made you think about what he was saying. I
Mhm.
compared him to Jake the Snake Roberts from the 1980s WWE because of the promos and the cerebral
Mhm.
talking. I absolutely that's what made me really like the character. Now, and I know a lot of people hate Peter, but I don't get the hate, but that's just me. Um,
Well, I have my opinions on what a lot of the hate was, but
I don't. I
I'm not saying it was. It was, Laura Wright adjacent.
well, okay, that makes sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, because he's dating Laura Wright.
Yes. And as we all know, she is the Antichrist.
To a lot of people.
To a lot of people, it's insane.
Yeah.
The amount of hate that poor woman who just wants to sit there and play pickleball and watch tennis.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, oh my God.
But kudos
Anyway,
to her for 3,000 episodes, and she knocked.
oh, and just knocking it out of the park. I mean, that woman, and I mean, Daily Drama, not to plug another soap news site, but they captured it perfectly. They named her their performer of the week, and they said, "All hail the queen."
Yeah,
And I mean, she just is.
she is.
She just is. The woman gives 110% to
Yes.
every single thing they give her, no matter how ridiculous, how soapy, how whatever.
Yeah, and you
She
can
is
tell,
going to play the fuck out of it, no matter what it is.
and you can tell when characters are phoning it in. She
Mm-hmm.
never once phoned.
Never, never. And it's not that. I mean, these are their characters, and anybody who's done any serious acting knows that to play a character, you have to love your character. That doesn't mean you have to be
You have to embrace
blind
it.
to their flaws,
Yeah,
but you can't hate a character you're playing and play them convincingly.
right.
You have to love them. You have to, give them a piece of yourself. And she, like, a lot of people think that she's like Carly. She's nothing like Carly. Knock it off. Cut the bullshit. But she plays her so convincingly
Yeah,
and is all in, no matter what they give her. And she loves the mess. She
yeah,
wants messy Carly. She
exactly.
doesn't want, you know, mama making brownie. That's not
Yeah,
the character she wants to play. That's not the character a lot of them want to play. They're soap actors.
and you mentioned it on Days for Dummies yesterday. The same thing about
Mhm.
the actor that plays Maggie Horton on Days.
Yes.
I can't remember her name off the top of my head.
Suzanne Rogers.
Suzanne Rogers, yeah, but
Mhm.
just about she would prefer to play a soapy style of messy
Yeah,
drama as opposed to something
absolutely.
tame and matriarchal.
Right. That's not exciting. That's not storyline either.
Right,
You
exactly,
know what I mean? Who wants that? They
exactly.
want, yes, they want, the love stories and the passion and all of that stuff because that's part of it too. But, like Laura Wright has been asked, what's your dream storyline? And she's like, an adventure on the run, guns, that kind of fun stuff. Yeah.
And we had a very brief glimpse of that with her and Felicia last year when
Yep.
on the day of Bobby's memorial, where they literally went from Port Charles, New York to Amsterdam to Canada and back in an hour. Like it's almost like beam me up, Scotty. You
Hmm.
do that kind of power
Yes.
teleportation for that kind of travel.
Right.
I mean, I get it. It was the story they did it. They had to do that just specifically for the
Right.
story, but
Well, I mean, look at how good, I mean, that scene of her walking into the mob meeting,
yeah.
that was iconic. That was, she played the hell out of that. And Tamara Braun had a lot of great stuff like that too when she was Carly.
Yeah.
The Carlys have gotten great scenes like that. All of them have.
Because and a lot of that has to do with them being in the gravitational pull of Sunny, because he's always been around, for the past 30 something years.
True. However, one interesting thing. So when you look back at episode counts,
Mhm.
the tops are whoever's playing, Sunny, Jason, Carly, and then the next will be the love interest of either Jason or Sunny.
Right.
Carly's airtime does not depend on who her love interest is. Sam and Liz both were huge in the episode counts when they were paired with Jason.
Yeah.
When they weren't, their airtime went down.
Yep.
Carly's airtime has always been huge.
Yeah.
Her airtime, like Sunny's, like Jason's, her airtime is not dependent on who she's paired with.
Right.
She uplifts her love interests, Jax,
Yeah.
Alcazar, things like
Right.
that.
Yeah.
It's not like with the other women.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And when people are like, oh, she's not the one taking any airtime from anybody
Yeah,
because her airtime is the same.
exactly.
So,
All right. So we did have, um, we did have a couple of Sonny and Carly meetings this week, last week, I should say.
yes. Yeah.
Right after, Carly gets arrested, um, Sonny, well, that whole episode was fantastic
It
because
really was.
you have
Yeah.
Sonny and Diane talking
Diane.
outside
Mhm.
about the case with Ava and the custody battle and how
Mhm.
Ava, filed the countersuit, and
Yes.
you see the confrontation with um Carly and Jagger, and Sonny and Diane goes, oh no, Sonny said, should I go in there? And Diane's like, it looks like kind
Absolutely
of
not.
heated,
Yeah.
argument. Let's just stay and watch.
Yes.
And then, Sonny does get involved in a little bit and saying, I'm right here, you want me, but then, uh,
Yes.
or Diane, was it Carly or Diane told Joss and Gio to go down to the bus station to get, it
Carly.
was Carly, yeah.
Yeah. Carly told Jocelyn to go get Jason at the bus station. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sent her after her daddy.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, that was amazing. And I mean, the Jason and Danny stuff at the bus station was amazing too,
Oh my
that
God.
stuff was going on.
It was just
Although you kind of got to feel bad for Danny because he's begging his dad not to go, and he's going, and then Josh shows up and he's like, "Mom needs you." I'm saying, I guess. Anybody want
right.
a bus ticket? But that's just how that goes. Um, yeah, it was so good. I liked the scenes with Carly and Sonny at the police station too, when he's like, "What happened?" And she's like, "You were dead."
Yeah,
What are
exactly.
you talking about? What happened?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh my God. And the Michael and Nina stuff was interesting. I didn't see that coming, and I liked it.
I did too.
I liked it a lot. And I didn't see it coming.
I'm actually getting more interested in Michael over the past couple weeks. Michael
Yes.
and Will haven't been my favorite couple on the show, but
They're just too boring.
they were kind of
That's
just
the thing.
for life
Yeah.
and just there. But now with the whole Willow Drew thing
And then
going to Nina for help, and and just this whole thing, it's given like an injection into Michael to the point where
yes.
he's now much more interesting.
Well, that's the thing. Chad is a great actor.
He is.
I mean, think about the stuff when he first came on, when Michael was in prison and the
Yeah.
rapes. I mean, Chad can bring it. The stuff with Nell, Chad can bring it when they give him material.
Right.
And they're giving it to him. And I mean, when this stuff comes out about Willow and Drew.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to come out during this whole election cycle.
Well, absolutely. And I don't think we've seen the last of Willow and Drew either. I think they're going to be ending up hitting the sheets.
Oh, okay.
I really do. I mean, she was thirsting all over that wet bare chest of his the other day, and he's been skulking around corners watching her and Michael smooching. And yeah, I absolutely think there'll be more between Willow and Drew.
Oh, I agree. And for all the people out there that are just so, there are people that complain about the fact that Drew is so much older than Willow, and Michael is Drew's nephew. First of all, there's no blood relation between Drew and Willow. Okay.
Yeah.
It's through marriage, whatever.
Right.
And how many times are there, April, December, or however you want to say it, older and younger relationships.
Sonny knocked up both Alexis and Sam.
Yes, exactly.
And Sonny was in his 30s, and Brenda was like 18, 19 when they started.
Yeah. So I mean,
that's soaps too.
exactly. It is, Willow has already had children. She, as she is an adult, she's over 18. She can make her own choices.
Well, I mean, she's well over 18. She's the same age as Nell, and Nell was older than Michael.
Yeah.
So they aged Willow up. Willow is now older than Michael.
Wow. I didn't realize that. Yeah.
When you think about it, because Nell
Because they were
was
twins. Yeah.
right, and Nell, Nell existed before Carly ever came to Port Charles
Yeah, that's true.
as like a preteen or whatever.
Yeah, that's very true.
So yeah, and that's Willow's twin.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Sometimes the
Yeah.
timeline kind of skews. It's almost like Back to the Future,
Right.
where there's a
Exactly.
there's the timeline here, then it skews
Yeah.
down.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Willow's in her 30s and Drew is 50.
Yeah.
He will be 51 years old this year.
Yeah. So
Not that old.
It's not that inconceivable.
Right.
They have
And-
worked on days. I mean, they have
And the whole, I mean, okay, Michael is Willow's, or Michael's Drew's nephew. Yeah, Willow was Nell's sister.
right.
And Kiki's sister. Michael nailed all three of them.
Yeah, that's true. Yes.
And, I mean, Drew slept with, Carly, Liz, and Sam.
Yep.
AJ slept with Carly and Liz.
Yep.
Jason slept with Carly, Liz, and Sam.
Yeah.
Sam slept with Sonny, Rick, and Dante. This is a soap opera.
It is. Yes.
Monica slept with Ned.
Right. Yes. So it does happen.
Yeah.
So enjoy the show. Don't equate it to real life, because it's not real life, and you don't watch soaps for real life.
But here's the thing. In real life, even sometimes,
Yeah, it happens.
a guy will sleep with his nephew's wife
Yeah.
or girlfriend.
Yep.
And in real life, men in their 50s date women in their 30s.
Yeah.
Sometimes men in their 50s date women in their 20s,
Yeah.
or vice versa.
Yeah.
They're all consenting adults.
Exactly.
Get the fuck up. You're watching a goddamn soap opera.
Right.
Pearl clutch somewhere else.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my God. I'm sorry.
All right. So let's move on from that. So okay, we had a great segment. I'm glad we saw it. The interview with Perez Hilton and Blazing Christina.
Mhm.
So there was a lot of controversy surrounding the choice of having Perez Hilton as on the show as the commentator, because he's notorious for outing gay people back in
Right.
20 years ago or whatever it was when he first started. Because wasn't he the one that started TMZ or something?
No, he had his own kind of TMZ before I think TMZ was even a thing.
Oh.
But yes, Perez Hilton was horrible. He was a gossip monger. He was whatever.
Yeah.
And he was, and whatever. And now,
but apparently he's kind of,
he's totally mellowed now. And my only thing is, I just don't understand, since they name dropped Kelly Ripa, why didn't they just get Kelly Ripa and do a cross promotional thing? But I don't care that they use Perez Hilton.
Yeah.
I don't.
Although I mean, listening to the girls from Pier 54, Perez could have said something to the fact of, yes, I did this in the past, when it came to Natalia, recording. He could have said something to humble himself, but whatever, it is what it is. Kate Manzi came out and said Perez is a good friend of mine. He's totally redeemed himself, and so far, and so, and that's that.
That did not go over well, because people can't have an opinion.
And I think Kate Manzi actually deactivated her Instagram because of it. Because I tried to search her out and it didn't come up. So it's sad.
Well, It is, but I mean, it is what it is, I guess, right?
Yeah. Well, the interview was great, I thought. And
Mhm.
it's like they took the high road. There were people complaining, why did they make Natalia the victim? Why didn't they come out and shame Natalia and go after Natalia? Here's the thing. The first rule of public relations, and Brooklyn is the one that coached them on it, take the heat off of the situation.
Right.
And you know, put it to where it goes. Hey David, how are you? Um, and David chimes in from August 2021, Willow to Chase. I love you, Chase. I always will, but I'm in love with Michael. We want a life together. So yeah, it
Yeah.
happened numerous times. Um, but yeah, so
And the thing is that from the perspective of Blaze and Christina, Ava is the big bad guy here.
yes,
Yes, what Natalia said was absolutely horrible. I don't feel, but their thing was that, it's not like her feelings were a surprise to them. They
right,
knew it.
exactly. They knew it.
So there was that part of it, is that it wasn't that it was a surprise to them. The thing is that, and this is the thing that people just cannot get around. I don't think that Natalia was a victim, but I don't think, Natalia is not the only bad guy.
I think
Ava was
ultimately
also
Christina
the
and
bad
Blake,
guy because she outed Blaze
right.
and didn't care about outing Blaze. And it was about being a bitch.
Mhm.
It wasn't, some big public service or anything like that. It was about being a bitch
Yep.
to people that it wasn't even about being a bitch to Blaze or
Right.
Christina.
Right.
It
It
had
was get
nothing to
back
do
at
with
Sunny.
them. And they hurt that. She hurt them in that.
Right.
She was wrong to do that.
Yes.
Care about her outing the homophobe, care about her outing Christina and Blaze.
Right.
Wasn't okay. Period. End of story. Ava was the bad guy. And I love Ava.
But Ava was the heel. Yeah.
And here's the thing, too. Ava is a bad guy on this show.
It is.
He has been from day one.
Yes.
She is a former mobster. She has killed people in cold blood. She's
Yep.
responsible for AJ's death because she framed him
Right. For
for
killing.
her.
Yeah.
She is responsible partly for Morgan's death because
Yeah.
she swapped out. She played a hand in Kiki's death.
Yep.
She didn't intend for her to get killed. She was
Right.
dating the crazy person and told him that she wanted her daughter out of her life. Which one? Who the hell says that shit? But
Exactly.
okay. I mean, I love Ava. Maura West is a powerhouse, and I love Ava because I love the bad girls. But
Yep.
I saw somebody, oh my God, like I read it and I was like, oh, there it is, the stupidest thing I'm going to read on the internet today. Somebody said that was complaining about the show making the heroines look bad and stupid. Heroines like Anna, Laura, and Ava.
Since when is
And
Ava
the
a heroine?
villains like Sunny and Carly. I'm like, Carly's not a villain. She's not.
Yeah.
Carly's not a heroine, but she's not a villain.
Right.
Carly is a soap vixen.
Hmm.
Ava is a soap vixen, but also a soap villain.
Yes.
She is both.
Yep.
Carly is not a villain, never has been. Knock it off. She is a vixen. And I was just like, Ava's a hero. What? Huh? When did that happen?
Yeah. No. I just don't think people recognize what the soap actors roles are anymore, or what characters are supposed to play specific roles. And I
And
mean,
I
yes, there's
get
always going
that.
to be that shade of gray.
Right. And I get that. But I'm like, I don't even understand in what universe anybody would think that even in that Ava is a heroine. I'm just like, are you new? Have you just started watching? I don't understand
Exactly.
what's happening here.
Yeah.
I'll give them Laura, absolutely. I'll even give them Anna because Anna has been portrayed as a heroine, even with all the heinous shit she's done.
Yeah.
But Ava, no, nope, nope, nope. I will die on that hill.
By the way, David in the chat, if you go ahead, not only check out his show that I'm also on at times, Take Two Radio, and Angela's come on a couple of times as well. But also, David joined James Law Jr. yesterday on the GH Mini Spotlight. So go ahead and check that out wherever you find your favorite podcasts or on the JLJ Media YouTube channel. He did a great job filling in for Frank. So check that out. Um, and yeah, again, go ahead and like this show, subscribe, get notified, and react to the chat, even if you're not going to chat, but go ahead and chat. Put something in the chat. Okay, but see, okay, going off of this interview, watching the interview, if you were just at home watching it and it was a regular interview, did you feel that she said anything to the point about the pregnancy that would lead you to believe that the pregnancy was hers and Blee's? I think
Well,
Molly
I
and
mean,
TJ
if
were.
I hadn't, I mean, that would be what anybody would assume watching it.
Mhm.
Anybody watching it would assume that that was a child they were intending on having together because that is the natural assumption. You see a pregnant woman, you
Right.
assume that is her child.
Yeah.
I think that Molly and TJ overreacted a little bit, but I also understand the overreaction.
Yeah, I get that.
Because Christina is Christina. There's been issues.
Yep.
My thing, I went back and forth on this one a little bit because we've seen more of Christina's wavering than they have.
Yeah.
So that kind of made their reaction more of an overreaction than
Right.
if they were privy to the things she had already been, we've seen her say my baby. We've seen her contemplating filing for, so we know those things and they don't. So that
Do you think she's in the right to, because like the conversation she had with Alexis today, to say, well, you haven't seen Molly and TJ. They've been having a lot of differences lately, and do you think that she's specifically doing that to protect Molly's interests,
no.
or is it just specifically for?
No, I think that she's trying to convince herself it's to protect Molly's interests, but Christina has fallen in love with that baby. We know that.
Mhm.
And she wants to keep that baby.
Yeah,
And she's coming up with all kinds of excuses why she should.
yeah,
And yes, Molly and TJ, but it's not like Molly and TJ are having screaming fights in the middle of town.
right, exactly.
They're having, I mean, Jesus. Nobody's taking Michael and Willow's kids.
Right.
She's about to bang his uncle. Yeah, no, I think that Christina is seeing what she wants to see. I think Alexis was very right. Christina has no idea what their plans are.
Yep.
Or that they don't have, you know what I mean? She's assuming, and but I love this all because it's just gonna be some huge soapy mess that I can't wait.
Yeah.
And now they're adding Rick
Oh,
into the mix.
yes.
Oh my God.
Rick Hurst is reprising Rick. Lance is coming back.
He was on set today.
Yep. And so there's been a number of returns announced. We know that Jonathan Jackson is coming back as Lucky. We know that Brian Craig is doing a one-off as Morgan. It was announced that Rick Hurst is coming back as Rick, and then just announced today, Emma Samms is coming back as Holly.
Yes.
That's going to it's going to play into the Lucky return.
And so now I'm also wondering if that's going to play into if Nathan's going to join her. If we're going to see Nathan possibly.
Oh, for Ethan.
Ethan, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
If we potentially see Ethan
Parsons the last time, it was some other guy.
Yeah. Yeah, they had recast him. So that could be interesting. I gotta be honest, I'm a little nervous that this might be marking the end of Robert, that she might be coming on to usher him off because
he hasn't been in good health.
so I am worried about that. But I love Emma Samms. Holly is fun, even though I don't like Holly per se, but I love Emma Samms, and Holly is a delicious character, soapy, and
Mhm.
yeah.
And it's like here's the thing. People, a lot of the social media people, the
Mhm.
trolls as we like to call them, complain about having the older actors on, the veterans come on. Here's the problem, and there's and we've said it. You got to make new actors. You got to make new characters. You got to bring them up to the main event level. They're so the older ones can go down,
Mhm.
help prop them up. But you said something there about Emma Sam's, a fantastic, soapy character. And I think that's something that's kind of missing now in
Mhm.
that with a lot of the younger actors,
Mhm.
they're just not getting the soapiness. We saw
Right.
it, we saw it with Spencer. Nicholas Alexander Chavez is a fantastic actor. He came in and he did his job with Spencer, but what was really soapy about it?
Well, I mean, I thought a lot of their stuff was
It
actually
comes
very,
back to the
very
writing.
soapy.
It comes back
I
to
thought a lot of his stuff was very, very soapy. The problem that came was he booked the show.
yep,
The writer's strike happened, the actor strike happened, everything was put on hold. But
yep,
they knew that as soon as those things were resolved, they were going to have to let him go do his show.
yep.
So that made it hard to do a story.
Especially with his contract coming up.
Exactly. And that also made it hard to do a story for Trina,
Yeah,
other than, because they had something planned. They knew how they were sending him off.
hmm
You know, Avery Kristen Pohl said that they told her 6 months before it happened,
yeah,
which was in the middle of the strike. They knew
yeah.
how they were sending him off. But that was going to be a drop-in thing whenever it happened.
Right.
So that was planned and written and whatever. But then if you don't know when, particularly when you're going to play that out, how
Yeah,
do you plan for the character of Trina after that?
right. You
You
can't.
can't. Which is why she disappeared for so long, because they had to write other stories going forward,
Right.
but
Yeah,
they couldn't put her in them without knowing what her status was with Spencer at that time.
right.
I mean, but so that, you know, caused a lot of the problems, is that they couldn't give them something big and exciting to do while they were in that holding pattern, waiting for those strikes to end and waiting, so it was all just a perfect storm of horribleness.
Yeah, it really was.
But I mean, how they brought him on and the stuff with Esme and all that was
Right.
all very, very soapy.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. The way that they were gaslighting Ava.
Ava and the stuff with him and Nicholas and all of
Yeah,
I mean, that was some really great soapy stuff.
yeah,
And him liking Trina, but he has this psycho girlfriend and just
yeah. No, makes sense.
yeah.
Um, all right. So let's kind of move on a little bit. Like we said, multiple returns coming back. Holly will be back at some point in September. Rick is filming today, so he'll be back at some point in
They
September.
said that he's going to start airing mid-August. They're dropping him in.
Oh, wow. Okay. So they're
So that tells me the baby's not dying,
yeah, that exactly.
because he's back for that stuff. So that tells me the baby's not dying, because there wouldn't be.
Right.
I think he's back for the custody fight,
Oh yeah. He's
because Alexis can't get involved.
right. And
Molly is his baby girl. Mm.
exactly. Um, all right. So let's see, what else do we go into? Um, let's see. Ned and Tracy. Tracy had some really good scenes this week. First with Cody at this
Mhm.
table. She got bit by a horse and
Yeah.
um,
Yes.
just that scene first, and then Ned comes in and they're talking um And Ned said, or Tracy said something. I don't care about the drama with your wife or your ex-wife or any
Yeah.
other drama that you're going through right now.
Yeah. But he was there for her.
Yes,
And
exactly.
that
Because
was,
it was Luke's birthday.
yes, which was really was a nice.
It was, yes.
Although I will say what the conversation she had with Sunny about how one of them said, I think Sunny said that, if you had Luke for a friend, then you always, that was absolutely not true.
Right.
See me turn on a mofo no. Luke's like, I'm not ride or die in anybody but myself.
Exactly.
It's been around way too long for that nonsense.
It was, yeah. No, you're absolutely
But
right.
yeah, I enjoyed all of that. I could have done without Sasha and Violet and Ants on a Log.
I mean, that was kind of just a lighthearted exchange.
Right.
And
Yeah, they're like,
I
we
get
need to burn some minimums for this for so
and
yeah.
yeah, and they're trying to figure out what to do with Violet now. I
Yeah.
heard a rumor that and I heard a rumor that they're going to get news that Finn dies leaving rehab. Is that something that they're going to do going forward or
I don't think so. I think they're gonna say that he's going to Doctors Without Borders.
okay.
I mean, it's possible they kill him off, but I don't think so. Not when they can just have him go do
Yeah.
Doctors Without Borders and not want to disrupt Violet.
Yeah.
And that, this was kind of, her settling into a family kind of thing.
Yeah, it was, and then the way that
Yeah.
she said, we'll make your own cookbook and,
Yeah,
you could share it. I mean, that was kind of sweet. And,
it was.
it was. And Sasha knows, and she explained how growing up with her grandmother and instead of her parents and all
Mhm.
that. So it was just a cute,
It was. I just didn't care about it, but it's fine. It's not like I'm like, oh my God, I can't even bear to. It was what it was.
yeah. Let's see what else happened this week. To do just trying to
Ava and Jagger.
yes, Ava and Jagger. Um, they they started kissing, so they got a little close this week. Um,
Yeah. And I mean, they're playing each other,
yes,
but I think that, the lines are also going to get a little blurry with them because they're also,
yeah,
they're both kind of, it's like any port in the storm kind of thing.
hmm
And they're that port for each other, but not a very secure port for either of
no,
them. And just, all kinds of, my enemy's enemy is my friend. And
yep.
then they're, yeah.
Excuse me.
You're like me. Oh, no, it's okay. I have discovered a new show that's not really a new show, but it was on my list of shows that, someday when I have some time, I'm going to go back and watch this series.
Yep.
And I started it last weekend and I was up till 7 a.m. Scandal.
Oh,
I started watching it last weekend and I'm halfway through season 4 already, 20 some odd episode seasons. It's so good. I was up until 7 a.m. And that's not the first time that's happened this past week because I cannot turn this show off. It's so good. So I stayed up until 7. I slept for an hour and a half until the kids got here. And then I've been awake ever since.
well, I mean, I've been up since 3 a.m. this morning, because I had to be at work at 5. So, yeah, no,
You at
and then
least had a
earlier,
reason. I was watching a television show.
and then earlier today at 7 p.m. I was live on Twix and YouTube with
Mhm.
Chair Shot Sports. So, yeah, it never ends.
No, no, not at all.
Um,
Not at all.
so let's see. All right, so Willow and Nina, um, right before the whole Carly and Jagger stuff, a couple days before, in the Metro Court lobby, Willow and Nina are talking about a press
Yeah, the thing
kind of
for
a
the
press event.
foundation. Yeah.
Yeah. And apparently the writing team gave Willow something that she didn't like, so she revised it and then wanted Nina to look it over because she's the
Right.
best person, the best person she could think of who do a lot of public speaking.
Yeah,
She
not the
was
guy
a
running for
speedster.
Senate. Right, she's a teacher, and not the guy who got her the gig, that's running for office and
Right.
giving speeches
Yeah.
all over the place. Not her husband, the CEO.
Yes, exactly. So she
Yeah,
goes to a magazine editor who has no formal schooling of any kind.
yeah. Not to her BFF, the spokesmodel.
Right, exactly.
Yes. No, no, no. Nina.
Yeah.
Nina. But
Um,
whatever. It's
and then
fine. The two of them deserve each other.
and then Ava comes in and
Right.
tries to get them to side with her.
That was interesting. The
It was.
Nina and Ava stuff was very, very interesting, I
It
thought.
really was. I agree. Just the way that Ava's like, yeah, we had a fight. So what? Big deal.
Right.
We- Um,
Yeah.
you know,
And,
but
and Ava's things just be like, I forgave you all of that whole Avery thing.
yeah.
You induced my labor, stole my child, left me to bleed out alone.
Yeah.
But what I did is the road too far? Really? That's the straw that breaks this camel's back?
I mean, I
Uh,
gotta say, I gotta agree with Ava on that one because
yeah,
their friendship was very illogical from the very beginning.
absolutely. And I really wanted, when this whole stuff started with Sunny, I really wanted, like, when Nina found out, Ava to look at her and go, did you really think that I was going to forgive you?
Yeah,
Did you really think that I, Ava Jerome,
yeah, exactly.
was going to let go what you did? That would have answered all questions for me. I wish they had gone that way, but
Yeah.
can't
Uh,
have can't win them all.
yeah, no, you're exactly right. And then although there was a little bit of closure to this week between Sunny and Nina, where Nina actually admitted that she
Yeah.
fell in love with Mike and she wanted Mike instead of.
Yes. Yes.
So there was a little bit of closure, and Nina kind of got her head out of her ass for a little bit. And,
Hmm.
so I guess Nina's kind of on the road to redemption or the road
Yeah.
to maturing a little bit under the new regime where she's going to be a little bit more, less impulsive, less
Yes.
manipulative. So she's doing a pretty good babyface turn,
Yeah.
to the point where she's uh she's becoming that soapy heroine,
Yes.
um, you know, in that role for right now,
Yeah.
especially with the whole, Willow situation and Drew. And,
Hmm.
that's going to be great when that comes out. Uh,
Yes.
I speaking of Nina, I like how, we've mentioned it before about Michael and Nina, Michael going to Nina to have her
Hmm.
call the senator as a favor to get
Right.
Carly out.
And it's really interesting to me too, because he went to Nina. He could have gone to Drew,
Yeah,
but he didn't, because he's kind of like protecting Drew
yeah,
by not involving him in it, not
right,
knowing that Drew is, currently coveting his nephew's wife.
right.
So that was an interesting, Michael, went to Nina, and, and that was absolutely, he's protecting Drew.
Yeah,
And I did like him reminding Nina that, she did play a hand in some of this,
yeah, exactly. Yep,
but I was also fine with Nina going, okay, but then we're even and this is it,
yeah.
which absolutely that too.
And I'm glad because that whole back and forth was just getting really old, you know.
Mhm. Well, I mean, I think that, they should hate Nina forever, but I understand Michael's position.
Right, right.
I also had some really great, Jason and Carly.
Yeah, yeah,
I
there
always have
was
really great Jason and Carly.
no, there was some great Jason and Kelly scenes this past week.
Hmm.
When Jason first goes to Carly to say that, he has to leave because of Jack, because of Anna's, double cross.
Yeah.
And Jagger says, "Oh, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna send you down to Quantico to get you
Yeah.
whole identity and going to the Supermax prison to get some information about this new gang. And
Yeah.
so for oh yeah, while we're on the subject of Jason, if you're on Facebook, there have been multiple people creating fake Facebook's accounts for Steve Burton. And posting in a number of the General Hospital fan groups
Mm-hmm.
saying, "Oh, I'm really Steve Burton. Please friend me." It is not Steve
It's not
Burton.
Steve Burton. He doesn't want your money. He's not
Exactly.
going to date you. He doesn't talk to fans that way. Period. End of story. It is not Steve Burton. It's none of the actors. The actors
Right.
do not do that. They have their pages, but they are legitimate. They're verified. Yada
Yes.
yada yada. And they never want your money,
Right.
except if they're doing like events or something, and then you buy a ticket. That's it. They're never going to ask you for money. You're not secretly dating them.
Exactly.
Please, guys,
Yeah.
stop falling
They
for
they are
scammers.
scams. They are phishing expeditions or trying to get
Hmm.
your information to hack your account and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
So please beware. And it happens on Twix, not as much anymore, but it does happen every
yeah.
so often, but definitely on Facebook.
And
Um,
Instagram, I get messages all the time from people saying that they're so and so's assistant. I'm like, no, you're not.
yeah,
Leave
exactly.
me alone. Go away.
Yeah. So Jed, just be careful about that.
Yeah.
Don't want anybody to get hacked or their
Mhm.
information stolen, or just put their physical self in harm
Right.
way, just because of whatever. All right, so I mean the Jason and Ed Carly stuff this week was absolutely fantastic. Jason, I'm sorry. While Laura Wright was the actor of the week this week and got the gold stars, Jason, Steve Burton himself, you can't, you can't take anything away from his week either because
He does so much with his
yeah,
eyes, with inflections in his voice. The voice cracking. And like he always says that, that Finola and Laura Wright are the best criers, but that man has mastered the art of the teary eyes.
yeah,
He's so good at it. I mean,
and
kills me.
the scene, conversations with Danny,
Yeah.
especially on Friday at the bus station, just amazing, and it's like
Hmm.
it was good to see Jason want to call his son and be like, listen, because
Yeah.
they were having plans to go on the boat
Hmm.
up to an island, and and he's like, I'm sorry, we're not going to be able to go for a while, maybe ever. He's
Yeah.
like, Carly's got the keys to my bike. Maybe your mom will take you out at some point.
Yeah.
Um, and I like how Danny said, "Do I have to wear a helmet?" Or
Yeah.
mom
You
wear a
don't.
helmet, and
Yeah. Is this one of those do
so
as you say and not
yeah,
as you do things? And he's like, yeah,
exactly, yeah,
like a lot of things.
yeah,
Apologetically, Jason. He's like, yes, absolutely it is.
yeah,
I'm the daddy, that's why. Yeah.
exactly. But just they were just
Yeah.
heartbreaking. Just as somebody who admittedly never had a good relationship with his father, I'm talking
Right.
about myself, just to see that interplay with
Hmm.
Jason and his son, who again they've been
Yeah.
estranged because of Jason's lifestyle.
Right.
For him to say, have to break the news to him, and you can tell that Jason really cares about his kids, regardless of the fact that he's not
Absolutely.
fully around.
Jason absolutely loves his children. The thing is like it goes back to the Jason loves his children.
Yeah.
Jason loves all of his children.
Yes.
He loves Jake. He loves Danny. But people forget that just in Jason's heart, just as much his child is Michael.
Yes.
Just as much.
Yep.
And he said to Carly, You know, from the time you showed up and made me into Michael's father, even before that, from the time you showed up that night in the rain and told me that you would, you know, your family became my family.
Yeah.
And he has always had that, always taken that role with her kids, always, all of her children,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and especially Michael, and then also very much so with Joss.
Yeah.
Not as much Morgan because Jax was really in that, you know,
Yeah.
secondary father role, but Joss definitely, and Michael, that's his, to Jason, that's his firstborn, period, end of story. There's really no discussion. And he used those kids against Carly this week
Yeah.
when he said, you know, any decision we make, we have to take them into like, you know,
Yeah.
talking about, you know, mom, we have to consider all our kids here with this too, you know.
Exactly.
But yeah, Michael, Jason, absolutely. But it reminds me of a few years ago when Sam ended things with him and he was talking to Sonny,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and he said that, you know, he should have let Lucky continue as Jake's father and he never should have agreed to have Danny
Yeah.
because Sonny loves his kids, Jason loves his kids.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is that Jason knows that the choices he made before those kids existed
Mm-hmm.
kind of,
Yeah.
you know, screw things up. And his kids aren't just trophies to him.
Right.
And he'd rather they be safe than be in his life. He'd rather they be, you know, loved and protected and secure and instead of endangered
Right.
because of him. And
Yeah. Exactly.
you know, I have a family member who was in the mob and he had told me, you know, and it was something that, you know, I had heard from other people that I know that were, they had family members like that too, that, you know, business has to come first because if it doesn't matter what comes second,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, and
That's the mob mentality.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and you know, and Jay, you know, that's the thing is that it's not Sonny doesn't love his kids more than Jason. I think Jason loves his kids more than Sonny loves his
Yeah.
kids because he's willing to, you know, sacrifice being in their lives to,
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
leaving the mob is not an option.
Right. All right. Well, we are just about done with I think we've gone over just about everything this week.
Yeah.
Uh, I will say that today's episode was great too.
Mhm.
I don't know if they're getting ready for sweeps with all this stuff, but I mean they've been on fire for the
No, sweeps
number.
ended last Wednesday.
Yeah. So they've been absolutely fantastic for a number of
Mhm.
months now. Uh but today's episode, Jason and Carly talking in the interrogation room, and Jason said, you know, there was one point where he said, I don't even know why I'm telling you this, but you need to
Yeah.
stay calm. You need to listen to Diane and not cause any more trouble.
Yeah.
He's like, you need to listen to Diane.
Right.
No more impulse, and just the way he said, I don't know why I'm telling you this.
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted her to smack him upside the head, quite frankly, because as much as I love them, and I know that her thing with Jagger was very, you know, impulsive, whatever, and not what he wanted her to do. But I wanted her to remind him, buddy, the whole reason we are in this position is because you had to play Captain Savaho. I am in this position because I had to clean up your mess. So let's not just act like I'm the only impulsive one,
Yeah.
my friend.
We didn't see anything with Curtis, Portia, or Trina at all this week.
Mm-mm.
I can't wait for them to get some kind of a storyline without Portia just looking crazy because of the Heather thing. I want to
The
see something.
yeah. The difficulty with that is Jeannie Francis is on vacation.
Yeah.
So she left for her vacation a little early this year because her mother passed in May, I believe, like
Right.
early May. So they like all the stuff that you're seeing right now with Laura is stuff that they pre-taped months ago that you know what I mean? But there's just not going to be a whole lot of movement in that story until the fall.
But I want to see Curtis get involved, at least with Drew's campaign. Seeing as he's going to be the one running the health and fitness wing, Aurora. You know, so I want to see something there. You know, we know that Trina and Gio are gonna, you know, eventually start getting closer. That whole scene with Dex and Joss and Gio and Trina. Looks like they have their solid 4 young adults. So that's you know, hopefully they start getting a little bit more there for that this summer. But you know, outside of that, pretty much went over everything. You know, and I know you're tired. I'm tired. I think so just a quick programming note, folks. Again, if you are watching, thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, get notified. Now on Monday, the week of Monday, August 14th, we will not be here. That week I'm taking off. My wife and I are going camping that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So Monday the 14th, August 15th will be no shows for Suds News. We will
the 12th.
Oh yeah, the 12th. Yeah,
August 12th. Okay.
12th, 13th, and 14th. That's what it was.
Okay.
So those 3 days. So there's going to be no shows that week. We'll be back the following week, the 19th. And then again, this coming Sunday, 7 p.m. Sudsy Awards. Finally, after 2 failed, you know, third time's a charm. That's gonna
I
be.
got my video in finally.
Yes. But either way, I want to thank you all for watching. Again, hit that like button, subscribe, get notified. If you're listening on the podcast, go ahead, give us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you find your favorite podcast. We are on iHeart, we are on Amazon, we are on multiple. But if you ever want to find out anything about the show, go over to sudsandsquaredcircle.com for anything. And again, we are an official affiliate of this WWE shop, which is a Fanatics experience. Sudsandsquaredcircle.com/wrestling merch. All right, so we are out of time. Andrew, do you have anything to add?
Nope.
All right, well then we will see you next week, right here, same time. And again, I will be here with Kim tomorrow night, 8 p.m. for Dockside at the Bay. Have a great night, everybody.
Bye.